want to fuck Beyonce and Rihanna. We'll see which one of those things happen first.
I just realized I'm stuck in 2024, dog. I was supposed to fix that. I was supposed to change that fucking intro or get a new one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Keyboard Warriors Live. My name is Eddie Laws for Kirby Party, CageSidePress.com. On UFC 311 Eve, a lot of shit happening this morning. Shit got wild. The whole card, not the whole card, but the top of the card is completely shaken. The feel of 311 is kind of different now. Plenty of stuff to talk about here. I'm sure we'll get to that. Oh, let's just get to that now since we're already talking about it. Arman Tsarukyan injures his back, pulls out literally during weigh-ins. Now, people in the media room, they knew. Some knew, had an inkling. There was whispers going on that something happened. And then, about the end of official weigh-ins, John Anik makes the announcement in the media room. Arman's out, and the Moicano's in. What are you thinking about this whole switch from Arman? You know, they call him the Armenian Bruce Wayne to Money Moicano.
Okay, so a few things here that I got to get figured out. First off, did you see the fucking blog? I don't know whether it was like the UFC countdown show or okay. So do you know the broad Nina drama? The good.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
Okay, so they do the fucking thing. I see somebody saying it's like Arman was going crazy. He's looking for him with her. Did you see the fucking end of the video where Arman's spinning around on his fuck? Let me tell you something, son. I've had a bad back before. I got a pretty good, strong back right now. And the fucking shit that he was doing on his fucking head, bopping and shaking and fucking swinging around. When the fuck was that? Did that hurt his back? Like, I don't mean to be a cunt here. Obviously, I think his back must be fucked up. But all joking aside, surely he wasn't doing that little fucking workout with a bad back. When did he? I mean, this is craziness.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like fucking Superman, and 36 hours, 24. I don't know how the fuck close to the fight this was, but a cut hair away from the fight starting, he pulls out with a fucking back injury.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't even. I don't really even know how to make it make sense. If we get past again. Let me be clear. I'm not suggesting that he's fucking afraid, or I'm not suggesting any sort of malfeasance of any way. I'm not saying that but what the fuck happened? Was he training? Like, how the fuck did you hurt your back 36 hours before a fucking main event and a title fight for the fucking fight of your entire fucking life? Again, I will hold back judgment because I don't know what the answer to that question is yet, but like, if somebody let him do something fucking stupid, they need to be fucking fired. How you blew out your back this close to a title fight is fucking insane to me.
So the UFC's been using Nina to do that kind of stuff, and she does it during fight week, usually sometimes before fight week and stuff like that. It just kind of depends, and usually with whoever she requests. Right? Obviously, she can't pay by the UFC. It is what it is. However, I saw that video too, and I was just like, because at one point he finishes one of those neck rolls. First of all, that's something you do in wrestling, right? It's like strengthen your neck or whatever else they do. But a lot of combat sports anyway. But when he comes up out of one of those, he winces for a second. And so I didn't think much of it. Literally, maybe like 5 minutes for hopping on here and start talking to you. I saw someone took a screenshot, like froze it, and he's like, "Argh." And I'm like, dude, can you imagine that you fucked your back up and lost your title shot
because you were doing fancy little fucking neck rolls and shit with Nina
to show off? Like, bro. Now watch this dude come back to they're not going to give him a title shot off the bat. He's not going to be next. That's that. Like, he'll get a title shot eventually if he keeps winning, but they're not going to be like, oh, well, you got hurt last time because you're next for whoever. You know how this game goes. What have you done for me lately?
Everything is about timing, but let's just put it like this. No one was really clamoring for him to get this title shot.
Oh, no.
Again, everything is about timing. He got this one because there's not anybody quite sexy enough there, and he does deserve it. But make no mistake about it, the public's not clamoring for Arman to get his title shot. So, yeah, this was no fucking bueno.
Yeah. Santiago, Happy New Year, brother. And, I'm pumped as well. It's going to be, either way, it's still a fun-ass fight card. Yeah, dude, no. So I think he pulls out. And honestly, he's gonna, he's when he heals up, he's just gonna be like, oh, I gotta get a title shot now. I was hurt last time, but I'm ready now. They're gonna be like, no, you gotta fight Michael Chandler. You gotta fight maybe not Charlie Olives, because if Charlie wins his next fight, he's probably getting a title shot, which is the Michael Chandler fight, I think. Right? Right on that?
I think so.
But whatever. I don't think I think Arman's gonna be like a year away from another title shot. I think, especially if there's some dumbass shit like that. Like, come on, dog. Not to mention, the UFC's been very liberal with the way they use Nina and their assets like that. But they're gonna have to rethink that one, because you remember the first thing I thought of when I saw that video, not when I heard about the injury and everything, but when I saw the video, was, man, this is just above Tony blowing his knee out, tripping on some cables, doing fucking embedded, or doing the the pre-fight shit. This is just above that on ridiculous level. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. We're pretty close to the fucking fight. Again, I don't think there's any sneaky shit going on. I'm not blaming him. It's just like, this is fucking real bad. I don't know whether he had a pre-existing injury that he was hoping wouldn't flare up, or what the case sort of was, but this was no bueno. Now, excuse me, God bless fucking Renato Moicano for stepping up. He'll make this a fun fight, but it does sort of suck. And I mean, shout out to Islam for taking the fight too, because this is fucking lose for fucking Islam. Mm-hmm. Like, no matter what he does here, it's not going to be good enough. You know what I mean? Like, but whatever. He needs to get a payday. He needs to. I guess with this title defense, he will beat the title defense record at lightweight. So at least he sort of gets a softball there. And that's not really fair. I shouldn't be. Now, actually, on that note, I shouldn't be calling Renato Moicano a softball in general, but I actually think he's more dangerous now than ever. He was not supposed to be here.
Exactly.
He's got fuck all to lose. He probably didn't think he'd ever get the title shot anyways, not to be a cunt, but he's almost so much as said it. Like, I think it's Charles Oliveira. He's mentioned before that he's like, oh yeah, I don't want to fight that guy. Like, I don't want to, what? If I gotta get the title. Now, I think he's basically joking. But I do think a part of it was sort of like, you know what? Like, I just want to get in here and bang on guys. Like, I'm not really trying to fool with those guys. Those guys are sort of out of my league, whatever. Yeah. Like, I feel like Renato's going to come in. I think he's actually a really good fucking, a really good live dog in this fight, because he has fuck all to lose. And I think he's going to come out and fight like it.
He has nothing to lose, and he fucking knows it. Okay, Rogan goes, "Hey, what do you think about it? This and that, whatever." But basically, it's like, "What do you think about getting the title shot on literally 24 hours or less notice?" And he's just like, he does the first. He goes, "I don't give a fuck." I'm like, "Oh, that's the attitude to have in a fight like this. That is the attitude to have. You cannot come in if you're Renato Moicano. You weren't supposed to be here. You cannot come in thinking you have something to lose. You literally don't. Even if you get the shit kicked out of you tomorrow night, who gives a fuck? You step that on 24 hours notice."
It's all the pressure is on Islam. Listen,
100%.
If he would have had to fight Beneil, he would have had some pressure, at least some. Like, that's a fight you need to win this one to keep your trajectory. Now, all the pressure. Of course, you're not going to beat Islam, bruh. Nobody's going to beat Islam. So now it's like, bruh, you got the chance to be Matt Serra. You got the chance to be Holly Holm. Yeah. You got the chance to cement yourself in history. Listen. If he does fucking beat Islam, is he going to get dog fucking walked in the rematch? Bet your fucking firstborn child on it. For sure. For sure. Islam's going to beat the absolute dog shit out of him come June or July if he does win this fucking fight. But nonetheless, that does not make it any more fucking unlikely that he fucks around and pulls the upset and wins the fight tomorrow night. And I'm going to tell you another thing. If he does win, it'll be extravagant. It'll be by knockout. It'll be by some, fucking Jorge Masvidal flying knee type shit. Because again, I think Renato's going to come out and be like, fuck it, get you some. Again, more than likely he will miss and Islam will take him down and get a relatively easy submission in the first round. But that first fucking minute and a half of the fight's going to be wild for fucking Islam, because I think Renato's going to come out balls to the fucking wall with nothing to lose. Literally nothing to lose.
And he needs to. He has to do that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm pulling for him just because I like the underdog role. But that's kind of it. I'm with you. Islam's gonna probably dog walk him a little bit. But I think for the first like 2 rounds though, it's going to be incredibly interesting. So 2-3 rounds, I'll say, before Islam just goes, all right, I'm gonna take your silly ass down and just fucking hold you down and beat you up on the ground.
Where do you think, if Islam does come out and win this fight hypothetically in first, second round, which let's just say what we all assume will happens, it does put him with the most title defenses. I think he would beat BJ Penn's record, he'll beat Habib's record, somebody else, I think, and maybe Vincent Henderson. A few people are right there at that. I don't know whether it's 3 or 4, but whatever it is, they're all tied right now. If he fucking wins, he'll break that. He'll have the most title defenses in lightweight history. But it's on sort of a mulligan, all due respect to Renato. Sure. Where does this put him, in your opinion, in the lightweight great conversation? Like, is this enough for him to surpass BJ and Benson and Habib potentially, because he's got literally more title defenses than anybody?
Right.
Or do you hold the loss against him earlier in his career against him? What do you think? Like, this is assuming he does win easily tomorrow. What's that do for you overall legacy wise for him?
I mean, okay, so I'm kind of the worst person to ask, because like when it comes to, for example, like the basketball GOAT debate, you know what I mean? I don't like to say there's one GOAT, right? I mean, if I have to, it's Michael Jordan. But to me, it's GOAT. There's eras, right? The LeBron era, the Kobe era, the Jordan era, all this stuff, right? I think that's the MMA as well. Right now, we're in the Islam era, and you could argue that it's probably the greatest lightweight championship era ever, right? The only difference being that he didn't say much. Like, if he was out loud and everything, if Conor was doing or had the run that Islam has it right now, we'd be talking about him being the fucking GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Because he brings the entire package. So, I think he put him top 3 for sure. And I think we'd have to look in and compare resumes and quality of opponents, stuff like that. But knowing sports fans the way the way they are, people are going to start calling him the GOAT for sure.
So exactly, I think you're really right there. Habib definitely. When you start talking about Habib and you comparing him to John Jones, it fucking sort of bugs me, and I feel like you can fuck right off with that. As long as we keep Habib in the lightweight fucking GOAT discussion,
absolutely,
I'm quite comfortable having that discussion. Although I will say, if Islam does beat Renato tomorrow, I would not be willing to put him above Habib yet.
Not yet.
But really fucking close. And Islam seems very receptive to the idea of moving up and fighting at 170. Now, he's not going to do that as long as Bilal's the champion. Him and Bilal fucked with each other the long way. Yeah. All due respect to Bilal, I don't think he's going to hold that belt for very long. If Islam pulls that off, ironically, I think a win at welterweight does cement him as the greatest lightweight of all time. If he's able to do that, if he's able to win 1 or 2 more at lightweight and then go up and get the welterweight belt, I think that win cements him above Habib overall and at fucking lightweight. Now, again, lots of fucking ifs and buts there, but nonetheless.
No, I fully agree. And I'll tell you why. Because if the opponent, it's not going to be Bilal, like you said, they're boys, right? The opponent more than likely is going to be Shavkat. Okay? If you move up, if you're on Makhachev and you move up and you beat Shavkat Rakhmonov for the welterweight title, what else is there to say?
Big boy shit.
What else is there to say? He grabbed his fucking nuts, went up there and took a fucking belt off a bad motherfucker. A guy is just as bad as he is, in my opinion, if not badder, right? And he's bigger and everything else. So I'm with you, dude. I think he does that shit. You got to start talking about being the lightweight GOAT. You have to. So
yeah. Renato don't quite do it, but it's a good statistic. And quite frankly, again, I think a lot of us are going to sleep on Renato's chances in this fight for obvious reasons, but you'd be a fool to. The lucky thing for Islam fans is I don't think they're those type of cats.
Sure.
I do think Islam will take him seriously. They're just so businesslike. I think Islam's going to come out and fight him the exact same fucking way he was going to fight fucking Arman tonight or tomorrow. Yeah. So like, I don't think Islam is going to take him lightly at all, but like, he better fucking not.
Well, that's the deal. That's the thing, right? I don't know. It's yeah, no, we got to wait and see. We got to wait and see what how he shows up, what he does. But what was
now
too?
Now let me ask you. Hold on. Let me ask you this. Now, so if Islam wins, we sort of discussed that. If Renato wins, what happens? First off, all of our fucking heads blow off. But is it safe to say we assume for sure they do the rematch ASAP, right? Like if Islam does lose, they're for sure going to give him the rematch. And then I guess just to make this conversation really quick, if Renato wins, we all agree that they give Islam the rematch and he dog walks him by the end of July. And has it. No matter what happens tomorrow night, Islam has his belt back by the end of July, right? Like, right. To be fair, that's how this goes, no matter what, right?
Yeah. No, that's what's gonna happen. So Juan is over here like, fuck Arman. I die if Renato win.
I'm telling you, maybe it's because I love these stories, like you said.
I love these stories.
I got a weird tinge that Renato's going to do it. And then he's going to give the best post-fight speech since fucking Conor knocked out Joe.
Oh my God, if he does that shit, dude.
I feel that like I get this weird feeling that he's going to pull off. And again, he's going to get trounced in the rematch, but like I get this weird feeling that he's just again, it's that nothing to lose, man. Those guys are fucking dangerous.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be something, to I don't know, man. I mean, who knows what'll happen? I would There's more than likely Islam wins, but I would love to see the other outcome. Right? I have no dog in this game. I don't give a shit. Right? There's no personal stake for me. So I just want to see. I want to see some crazy shit. It's like in the NFL or the NBA playoffs when none of my teams are in it. I just want to see chaos. I want to see people's fucking knees blow up. I want to see interceptions and shitty passes and shit like that. But in this, I want to see some chaos. And out the wins, it's chaos. It's gonna be fun.
I will say that would be fun, but I would like to see Islam win just because I like big fights. And Islam has the potential to make big fights, but he's got to keep winning. So it's like that's why I wanted to see John beat Stipe so bad. Because if he beats Stipe, we get one more. Whoever John fights next, it's a fucking big one. And as long as he keeps winning, if he keeps fighting, each one will be bigger than the fucking last because he fucking won. So when a cat goes on one of these runs, like I hated seeing Izzy lose because in each fight, like, can you imagine how big of a fight we could have with Izzy now potentially if he hadn't just fucking lost these fights? Like if he had just kept fucking winning, we would have been talking about him moving up to heavyweight and fighting John Jones. Like you got to keep. So I love when guys, because then the fights just get bigger and bigger, presumably, as long as they keep Conor. If he wouldn't have fucking started losing, our heads would have all exploded by the fights that he would have fucking been able to acquire. You know what I mean?
As great as man, I don't want to get into a Conor fucking tangent, but real quick, as great as his story is already, had he not fucked up with all the bullshit he's done on the side and everything, man, that guy could have had a crazy fucking legacy. Now to me, he's a very much like, man, what if? What if fucking story to me. Accomplished a lot, could have accomplished double.
Well, yeah, and beyond even his mouthpiece and all the bullshit, man, when Conor was at his best and at his prime, he was really good, man. He was really good. Like, listen, Khabib was extremely dominant, but even Khabib, he eventually got the choke and he eventually finished Conor, but it wasn't simple. Conor wasn't some fish out of water. He held his own relatively well with Khabib for a long time in that fight, at least like in a grappling domain. It's not like as soon as the fucking fight hit the ground, Conor just got snuffed out immediately. Like at his peak, he was really good. And yeah, if he could have just stayed active at that time, it would have been interesting to see how good he could have really been. But ifs and fucking shoulda, coulda, woulda, buddy.
Yeah, we'll never know, man. All right, what else do we want to talk about today? I know we had something else, like a bunch of shit.
Well, I guess we could just shoot down fucking 311 right quick while we're here before we get to any of the side stories,
sure.
and all that bullshit. So all right, main event, fucking crazy shit, last moment. Now we got fucking Marab. I can't say that motherfucker's last name for the absolute life of me. Against another motherfucker who I cannot really say the last name for the absolute fucking life of me. Dishwalavili and Nurmagomedov. For fuck's sakes, Marab and Umar. But yes, fucking, I tell you what, for as fucking dog shit boring as this fight will probably be, I've never been more excited to watch what will more assuredly be a boring fucking fight in the cage. What the fuck?
Yeah, and I know Umar says shit because Umar knows how he fights. And Umar's actually a fun fighter. He'll stand up with you for a while.
Sure.
and he'll stop takedowns and all that.
Problem is, Merab's not gonna.
Merab's gonna shoot 1,000 times. If the first 999 failed, that 1,000's gonna fucking work for him or something, whatever it is, right? No, I'm not expecting a very fun fight. A lot of people, everyone's going with Umar. I don't buy it completely. We'll see. I don't really buy it completely, but we'll find out. But like, man, if this is the main event, shit, you are hurting bad, right? But no, dude, I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be a 5-round fight, and Umar probably win it by points. I think.
Considering all the shit that I just gave it for potentially ended up being a shitty fight, it is pretty compelling and pretty interesting. Sure. You got a Nurmagomedov who is obviously going to be very good at grappling. He's 18-0. We all see the fucking similarities to Khabib, except he's a better striker, so maybe more akin to the way Islam actually fights in the cage style-wise. Yeah. I think Islam's got a little bit better striking than Khabib ever had. We can all fucking sort of agree on that.
Absolutely.
Against the guy in Merab who is just a machine and going to make you grapple. So we're going to see a Nurmagomedov get put on the back foot in a grappling competition, which is interesting. Most people that fight any of these fucking Nurmagomedovs make it a point to not want to grapple with these fucking pricks for obvious reason. It's interesting because Merab is almost assuredly going to want to wrestle with Umar. So it is interesting to see how that little thing does play out, all things being equal. Because honestly, I don't know. Part of me wants to say that Merab will eventually wear him down like he does everybody. But then again, I guess I do fucking drink the Kool-Aid and believe the hype. This is it's a Nurmagomedov. He's not going to get out grappled, is he? Like these people, that's like, before Hoist had got submitted, that's like the idea of you suggesting that a Gracie's going to get submitted. Like, well, no, he's not. He might lose a fight, but he's not going to get submitted. Like Umar, a Nurmagomedov can get knocked out, but they're not going to get out wrestled, are they?
No.
Like, I don't know about that. But here we go. If anybody's going to do it, Merab would be the fucking prick to do it. So, now, same thing here. If, let's just say, for instance, Umar does win, what do you see that doing for the division? How do you see that shaking things up? Like, give me your opinions on if Umar does come through and actually fucking get the fucking upset here. What does that do for 35?
Well, it opens it right the fuck back up, right? I mean, if you look at the guys that Merab has beat Sean O'Malley. He beat did he fight Figgy? Let me pull up his fucking record real fast. I can't remember.
I know he beat Jan. He beat Sean. He definitely will not fight Aljamain, so we got that.
Yeah. So and Aljamain went up to 45. So we're looking at O'Malley, Cejudo, Jan, and Aldo that he's beaten in a row. All four.
Okay.
Also beat Marlon Moraes, Cody Stamen. So he's beat most of the top names at 135, except for Umar, right?
Right.
So Merab wins, and we just keep it going. Probably, maybe a Sandhagen, maybe a Figgy, probably a Sean O'Malley rematch. Umar wins, where he hit the reset button. Start the entire thing over and give me Umar Sean O'Malley next pay-per-view that they're available. I think that's what happens. I think the UFC, in my opinion, is dying to get Sean O'Malley back with the title.
Yeah, well, maybe. Maybe. But it depends on what happens. If Umar comes out and smashes Merab, I think you all of a sudden you kind of got Khabib number 2. Like if he depending on how he looks, yes. If he wins a boring fight or if he loses a boring decision, then different. But if he comes out and like gets a finish and like smashes Merab, so to speak, shuts down the wrestling and just knocks him out or something. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're gonna want to do Umar versus Sugar Sean, but that's what the UFC is brilliant at, because at that point, it does not matter what happens. Either A, Sugar Sean gets it back and the Americans are lit, or B, Umar goes on to be Khabib number 2 and the fucking Muslims are back lit as fuck. So, like, either way, they're looking good. What they probably don't want is for Merab to win. If you got to root for somebody to lose, it's Merab.
Oh, yeah.
All due fucking respect to Merab. He's fucking fighting fans and fucking shit. He's a crazy guy. Although, that being said, he has the potential to be a star as well. Like he's a bit of a wild one, but he's not exactly boring. What the fuck?
He's not boring. He's definitely not boring. But the thing about him is he's annoying. That makes sense.
That's true.
Like,
No, yeah,
and
for sure.
and not for me personally. I think he's great. I enjoy I enjoy his bullshit. Honestly, to me, it's fun. But in terms of everything else, it's kind of annoying. Won't fight Aljo, so Aljo moved up to 45. You know, I want to fight Piroyan. I want to fight this guy. Everyone but Umar. It's like, all right, look, we know you're not ducking, but you sound like you're ducking.
Right.
But on top of all that, it's just like we want compelling stories, and he doesn't really have one anymore. Right now, he's kind of like the funny sideshow. No offense, I'm not calling him a clown, but the funny kind of like, haha, funny guy, cool. But we don't think of Merab as a fucking killer whatsoever. We think of Umar as a killer. Habib, Islam, fucking not Jamal, Jesus. Alex Pereira is a killer. John Jones is like a fucking psychopath. Shit like that. Like, we want compelling our characters. For as much as fighting is a sport and the MMA is a sport, boxing is a sport, we still like storylines. That's why pro wrestling is still so goddamn popular. We love a storyline. Yeah. Right back in the day, Edge is banging Lita, who used to date so and so, Christian, and then fucking boys and all that. And MMA, it's Umar's been saying all this and that, whatever. And Merab, the Habib storyline in it, Habib's coaching the co-main and the main event, challengers. Like, you have really good, compelling storylines up and down this card. That's why it's making it so interesting. Merab does not give you that. He does not give you a compelling storyline. He's just a guy, honestly.
But to your point, at the very least, he's annoying. So he's a guy, but he might be able to play up the heel roll a little even, and if he keeps again, at the end of the day in this sport, it could change a little bit depending on your trajectory. Can change a little bit depending on fucking your personality. But at the end of the day, if you just keep winning, it will eventually get you where you're going. Like, Merab will need to keep winning, but if he keeps winning and he just keeps sort of being annoying and shooting that fucking mouth off, eventually he'll become a draw. Now, to your point, if Umar wins, I think we get to a draw a lot quicker. If Umar wins and they line up the Sean O'Malley fight, we're already sort of cooking with fucking bacon grease.
Shit. I hear that. Now, the one thing someone was telling me that I just fucking popped back in my head. If Islam loses to Renato Moicano, he's a respectful dude, but let's say he just miles off or whatever. I wonder what the chances are. Habib goes, all right, bitch. All right, motherfucker. Big bro coming back to get you.
No. I don't think so. Even if first off, I don't think Renato will be disrespectful.
I don't think we'll either.
Now, again, we've talked about this crazy scenario before. I think the only way something like that happens if it's a Connor. If it was Connor and he somehow got the chance to beat Islam, I think Habib might be like on just some straight up Rocky shit or something. Like, no, we got this will not. I think Renato, as long as he don't go, fuck you, Habib, sissy ass bitch. Like, as long as he don't come for Habib directly, Habib will probably be like, whatever, motherfucker.
Fuck you, bro. Fuck your dad. All say shit.
Yeah, as long as he don't get on that type of time. And even then, I wonder if Habib would actually come back for it. I mean, maybe, but I think Renato would have to, like, really cross the line. And even then, I think Islam might be like, bro, I hear you, but, like, chill out. Nah. I ain't dead. Like, I'm gonna get my belt back. Bro got lucky with a lucky punch. Like, chill. Let me do this. If he beat me up again, maybe you can come back. But like, I'm getting my rematch, bro. You ain't jumping in that fast. Fuck that. I want this little motherfucker again.
No, I got you. All right, so we think. So we're both picking Islam for the main event. Who are you picking in the co-main? You picking Merab or Umar?
Fuck me, dude. I don't know. I guess Umar. Umar. It's hard to go against a Nurmagomedov, especially when I feel like the opponent is going to rely on their wrestling. That being said, just because you out wrestled Corey Sandhagen doesn't make me too confident that you can handle fucking Merab's relentless fucking wrestling attack. So I'm gonna go with fucking Umar because I sort of feel like his upside might be a little bit more than we've all seen yet. Like, maybe we don't know exactly how good he is. We sort of know what Merab can do, and he's real fucking good at it. Umar might be great, maybe. I'm gonna bank on that and say that Umar's like real fucking good, and he fucks around and pulls some bullshit off on Marab. But I ain't fucking confident about it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm taking Umar. I'm confident about Umar winning, but because Marab just seems like he's in his head. Umar's in his head like a motherfucker. So I don't know if Marab's we'll see. We'll find out if Marab's the kind of guy who's got too much to get to him. We'll see. Other fights in this card. As far as compelling this one right here.
Hold on, go back up quickly. We won't waste too much time here because I do want to get to the whole Bellator thing and the GFL or whatever the fuck the global fight decks are. Yuri Prochazka and Jamal Hill. Am I the only one that I want to like Jamal Hill, but am I the only one that feels like no, all bullshit aside, I feel like Yuri Prochazka is going to snuff Jamal Hill. I've seen that Jamal Hill, I think, is actually favored in this fight. Am I out of bounds here? Who do you like? I feel like I know Yuri is sloppy, and I know he throws a lot of wild shit, but for some reason, I still feel like this is his fight to lose. I feel like Yuri by first, second round TKO. I don't want to say easily, but relatively easily.
I think you hit it on the head, dude. Yuri's fucking wild. He does wild shit. Sometimes he does it just for the sake of doing wild shit, not that he actually has a plan for this fucking technique to land, right? Spinning shit, the fucking axe kicks that come out of nowhere for no reason, and stuff like that. Jamal Hill's a lot more measured, right?
Right. Okay.
That's why when he fought Alex Pereira, I knew Pereira was going to win anyway, but I was like, Jamal's going to give him a better fight. He's not going to do wild. He's not going to leave openings for Alex Pereira just fucking obliterate him, right? Even though he ended up doing it on that fucking hilarious little sequence. Yuri's going to give you many chances to hit him. Like you could probably go up to him, hey, can I hit you? He'd be like, okay. Like that kind of shit. Like that's how many opens he gives you. That's why I'm going with Jamal Hill as well on this one. And Jamal knows it, but Yuri's so like Yuri's like so himself, like so like the fighter that he's not going to change anything. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. I get what you're saying, but I don't know. I don't buy Yuri winning.
And I'll give you this. I feel like Yuri does put himself in horrible spot. Like he's either going to knock Jamal Hill the fuck out or probably get knocked the fuck out because he's going to throw some wild shit and it's either going to land or he's going to put himself in a horrible position because of that. And to your point, Jamal Hill will be a lot more measured and just be like, geek, and just hit that motherfucker with a clean, straight right. But for some reason, I feel like this is Yuri's fight easily to win. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm off on that. We'll see.
Well, man, you might be on point. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow you can tell everyone to suck your dick on Twitter. It's going to be Yuri by fucking savage knockout. I'm like, damn.
Who was that when fucking Connor won that I showed my dick on Twitter?
Oh, fuck me.
Y'all thought I was bullshitting. Was it Eddie? It might have been Eddie Alvarez. Oh, no, it was Donald Cerrone. Because he came back. It was Cerrone because I think everybody was talking shit about something or something. I was like, after he steamrolls him, I'm gonna fucking tweet a picture of my dick where all stuck.
And then you did, you fucking psycho.
I did. I left it up for a few days too.
I know you did. I didn't look at your Twitter on purpose of that shit. But I remember someone texting me. It's like, hey man, you know your boy's hogs all over. Yeah, your boy's hogs on the internet. And I go, I'm not surprised, but like from recently. He goes, yeah, from the other day. And I'm like, oh, he fucking did it. And I think I texted you. I'm like, motherfucker, really? That was so funny as shit. Oh man. All right. So yeah, UFC 311 going down tomorrow night. Again, main event is on Makhachev, Renato, Moicano. Co-main event, Merab Dvalishvili against Umar Nurmagomedov. Benil Dariush apparently taken care of by the UFC. He's bummed out he can't fight at home. He lives in California, but he's a very classy guy, so that worked out for him. Yuri Prochazka, Jamal Hill, Jotel Almeida against Sergey Spivak. Kevin Holland against RDR, Rainier DeRitter, or Hainier DeRitter, however you say his fucking name. Peyton Talbot against Heiner Barcelos, Reese against Bekoev. This one's interesting. Guskov against Elikana. I don't know much about Elikana, but I heard he should be a fucking middleweight. And then Dawson Fajeda. This one's interesting that it's on the fucking prelims, but I get, people don't want to watch women's MMA for whatever reason. But Carol House against Alien Perez. A fucking nasty finish here could get either one of these girls a title shot, honestly. Nakamura against Gafarov. Trucius against Sopage. And just don't give Ricky the fucking microphone, please. And then Tagiro Lembekov against Clayton Carpenter. 3 Nurmagomedov guys or Team Habib guys between Tagir, Umar, and Islam on this card. So Habib's going to be busier than shit. All right. Bellator is no more. PFL came out. First of all, they didn't even come out. Broken by Ariel Helwani came out and said that Bellator literally said Bellator is dead. Everything has been changed to PFL. The last thing you'll see, I believe, is this next week or the week after, January 25th, I want to say, is the last time the Bellator lightweight title is going to be defended by Usman Nurmagomedov. Just happens to be Usman Nurmagomedov, brother of Umar Nurmagomedov. So that's fun. Anyway, but that'll be the last time you see any Bellator on anything. Everything else after that's going to be PFL. The season's no more. The points are no more. It is now a Grand Prix style, for lack of a better term, I guess, for the tournament. There's going to be tournament champions. There's going to be PFL champions, right? So basically, I'm saying all that shit to tell you this. PFL has become Bellator with a different name. Because all the shit that Bellator did, outside of like going to fucking Africa and fucking Uzbekistan, wherever the fucking all these million different PFLs want to establish that aren't gonna fucking work. Outside of that, they're doing everything Bellator did. So there you go.
So the PFL finally gets rid of Bellator. I don't. Did you say they're going to allow elbows all the time again?
Elbows all the time now. Basically, they're Bellator now.
Right. So look, here's the deal, right? The PFL bought Bellator 6 months ago, or whatever the case may be. We all wondered aloud why the fuck they kept running them as separate companies. So finally they do, the fucking inevitable that we all assumed that they were going to do, that they had to fucking do. For me, I will say this. This is all good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They needed to do this. They should have, again, unless there's just something I was missing, they should have done this from the fucking jump street. But okay, fair enough. Better late than never. The question for me with this, though, becomes, is it too late? Like, did they need elbows? Yes. Should they have just dissolved all the talent into one big pool? Absolutely. Should they have stopped fucking running Bellator on their own? Duh. So here we are. Finally, fucking they got the memo, but is it too fucking late now? Have they lost all the... I am a pretty bad degenerate when it comes to the fights. And boy, I couldn't care less about Bellator or PFL.
Yeah.
They've done a real shit job. And listen, I know they've got some good fighters. I know they can line up some good fights. To your point, fucking Umar's brother is fighting. They've got some dope talent. They've just done such a fucking shit job of promoting these fucking guys and promoting their fucking their organization. I mean, it's fucking horrible, man. Scott Coker with fucking Bellator did way better than this. Fucking Elite XC, Pride. There have been places, Strikeforce. There's been places where, did you ever think that any of these places short of Pride was ever going to actually overthrow the UFC? Of course not. Not really. Not since Pride has there ever been anybody that was really actually might overthrow the UFC. That was never going to really happen. But they were a solid number 2, and we were all okay with that. And they were able to carve out a little niche of the sport, at least to the point to where the UFC wanted to buy them. The UFC don't even give a shit about the PFL or Bellator. They weren't even trying to buy Bellator. They didn't give a fuck. That's no fucking bueno, man. I feel like they've just lost all their fucking respect. Again, we'll sort of see how this goes, but it's almost like they're doing all the right things now, and I still kind of don't give a fuck.
It's here's the thing: is you're on point for a lot of things you just said, right? Like, is it too late? I don't think it's too late. I think we're on the edge of too late. If that makes any sense. They're on the fucking cliff edge, like they're about to fly off, right? That's the kind of thing. And this is Don Davis admitting that he was fucking wrong and a lot of shit that him and Pete Murray and whoever else at PFL made decisions to do all this weird ass shit that didn't work. I think this is him waving the flag going, okay, you guys are right. You guys are right. Without saying that, because if you watch any of his stuff, he just did a fucking Q&A, town hall bullshit, whatever they call it, with Mike Heck over at Fighting. And I watched about half of it before. I'm just like, man, you cannot bullshit me that much and have me stick around and watch your garbage. There's nothing about Don Davis that makes me think I should believe any words he says, right?
Right.
So I have a big problem with him being the face, the heads, even ever uttering words about PFL. You're a business guy. Shut up and get in the back. Let someone else do this. I'll give you an example. Jerry Jones of the Cowboys thinks he's a fucking GM, thinks he knows better than guys whose jobs is being a general fucking manager. And you wonder why the Cowboys fucking suck always. You know what I'm saying? That guy has business being a GM. Same thing with Don Davis. Has zero business being a promoter. You're a business guy. You know what he calls himself? He doesn't call himself a promoter. He calls himself co-founder, and he calls himself an entrepreneur. Everything's entrepreneur this and entrepreneur that. Go be an entrepreneur for PFL, but don't be trying to sit here trying to like pretend like you know shit, like fuck all about fighting, because you don't. You showed your ass for this last 7 years that PFL's been a thing. So the way I see this whole thing is this: is them doing an about face, going like fuck it. Look, clearly what we're doing is not working, right? Bellator lasted a long time. Let's see if we could do what Bellator did, but better. And go with that. But the wrong guys at the helm still. And I'm talking about both Don Davis and Pete Murray. You can say what people, and I get, Pete Murray's Pete Murray. Everyone thinks, a lot of people think he's okay, he's solid. I don't buy it because the product is there. We're looking at it. We're looking at the product. It's not working. And he's one of the guys at the helm, right? So I don't know. I don't know what they got to do to make this shit work. All I know is behind the scenes, first of all, producer Pitbull had to complain like a motherfucker online to get his release. Okay. Patchy Mix wants his release. They're not gonna let him go. Corey Anderson wants his release, and they're not gonna let him go, right? And then you got guys like Kai Kamaka who aren't even champions who want to be out. Like, there's a lot of people, and again, I'm not putting their names out there, but there's plenty of PFL people that I've interviewed or even spoken to without doing interviews, just on behind the scenes, that have no fucking clue what PFL is doing. Right. So there's a lot of things that they do all the little things wrong, and they try to do the big things right. What the UFC does, they do a little things right, and it makes the big things easier to pull off. And even then, you do all the little things right. When the big things go wrong, Arman Tsarukyan fucking busts his back or injures his back and mess around with Nina. Renato Moicano, fucking little things done right. So that's the deal to me. And to me, PFL needs to, for at least, actually no, just completely forever, stop trying to pretend like you're 1A. It's UFC, and then everyone else, like
right,
going up here, you're not even in the screen.
And listen,
let it go.
And listen, I'm not that anybody would fucking listen to us, but I'm about to fucking lay out for you what PFL needs to do without looking at their fucking roster, because I haven't really paid attention to Bellator or PFL in a month of fucking Sundays. But here's what I do fucking know. All right. I know that you need somewhat bullshit at the top of your cards to get the people interested. Okay. The PFL have the rights to Jake Paul. Jake Paul has agreed to do an MMA fight. So here's where we start, dickheads. You got Jake Paul. That money's there. He's signed to the PFL. I'm not wrong about that, right? He's that's on contract. He's signed to do an MMA fight for them. I think a boxing joint, but definitely MMA. Ideally, you get Nate Diaz and you try to make that fight in MMA. You put it at the top of the fucking card, and you fucking put somebody like fucking Usman Nurmagomedov. You put Pitbull Patricio. You go hard, because Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul in Jake Paul's first MMA fight is big fucking business. Like it or not, it is. And that's how you turn people on to how good Usman Nurmagomedov is.
Sure.
That's how you let the world know that you have a Nurmagomedov that might even be better than that guy in the UFC. Who knows? Of course he's not, but you can fucking fool them. You're going to have the eyeballs. So that's how you do it. And God forbid Jake wins, which is what you're fucking banking on. If you're smart, you're like, okay, who's Jake's next opponent? Let's bank on him winning. And then if he doesn't, you still rolling up. Nate probably dips out on you. You figure it out. You got one more Crown Vic. There's a lot of good fighters that they got, but nobody really moves the needle. You got Jake Paul, who's a needle mover, and you guys got Francis Ngannou. Now, what you do with him, you got to be careful. There are a few options where you can put Francis at the top of the card and get them eyeballs. A few of them are going to be a little fucked but you guys are going to have to play a little dirty. One of your options is Deontay Wilder. He shot his mouth off. I don't know how serious it is. If he decides to actually fight MMA, you got to pull a fucking page out of old Pride's book. You got to write a big check, and you got to do Francis Ngannou versus Deontay Wilder in MMA. It's going to get a lot of headlines, and then boom, you fucking pull out the big guns. Where's the real talent? I don't know enough about him. Who's fucking PFL's middleweight champion or Bellator? Isn't it some white dude named
Johnny
whatever? Johnny Ibn. There you go. You put that cocksucker in the co-main. That's how you do this shit. And then you assume that fucking Francis Ngannou is going to win. So here's another newsflash. You know what you do? You eat your fucking humble pie, and what you do is you pick off somebody from the goddamn UFC. Which one of these top 10 guys is going to slip through the cracks? And the moment he does, you pull out the checkbook and you grab him because you need somebody for Francis to beat up that has a name. And then what you do is you take, let me see, who's top 5 in the UFC right now? Like, who's got a chance of fucking getting the axe here soon, but it's still a big fucking name? Cyril Gane. Let's say Cyril Gane loses another fight or two, and they're just like, fuck it, we're done with him. He's created enough good fucking will. You could do the rematch with Francis. You grab him up, and all of a sudden you got another fight where you can build Francis up. And I mean, listen, Cyril's not the ideal candidate, but it's somebody that the UFC has spent millions of dollars promoting that now you get all that. Strikeforce, Elite XC, they were good at doing that. Fuck, bare knuckle fucking fighting championship has been really good. Jake Paul has been good at doing that. The huge fights that Jake's getting, he's getting millions of dollars that the UFC put in to promote and Ben Askren or Tyron Woodley. Jake didn't promote those pricks. The UFC did for years. And then Jake just comes along and benefits on all that fucking promotion. Yeah. That's what the fuck the PFL needs to do. Humble yourselves. Pick off the people as the UFC throws them away. Hopefully your guys can eat them alive and it builds them up. And that's how you play this game. You'll always be number 2, but there's nothing wrong with being number 2.
Exactly. Number 2 still making some money.
Fucking A.
So anyway, now I'm with you on all that, dude. And the other thing that bothers me about PFL, if we move on to something else, or to the new league, is the lack of actual promotion. Right? No one ever knows when PFL is happening. Did you know the card on the 25th is happening? No one did.
Of course not.
Did you know you couldn't watch it here until recently? Exactly.
No.
They didn't have a distributor or a broadcaster, I guess, for this fucking event until last week. It's gonna be on HBO Max. On top of that, you gotta have a fucking subscription. So whatever. But you never know when they're going. No one ever tells you. And the wildest part to me is you have the ability to send these guys and girls to Fox Sports, to ESPN. Get them out there talking. You don't think ESPN, you don't think fucking Stephen A. Smith's going to be like, if you went up to him like, hey, man, you want to get Francis Ngannou on your show this morning? Yeah, he's a giant fucking like human. Hell yeah, get that on there. Dakota Cheva, get her on there. She's got to be your new, like your young up and coming, not even up and coming, your young superstar, because she's good, right? Jake Paul, get him in front of cameras. Get all these guys in front and girls in front of fucking cameras, in front of people. Give us a reason to give a fuck. Because right now we have nothing. Honestly, no, I'll take it back. There's one thing we were here to watch, and if this is going to be a fucking train wreck, or if it was going to be anything to salvage here. That's all we're watching for. If we're even watching. But I tell you right now, they can say whatever they want. No one's really going to watch that event on the 25th, really, that gives a shit. And all kind of, it's just,
no.
It's not too late, but we're close to too late.
Right.
Close.
Nobody's going to give a shit about none of this shit, except for probably on some real shit, Jake Paul and Francis Ngannou. So their next big fights, you put them at the top of the card. You break the bank to get them an opponent that gets the world watching, and then pull out the big guns, man. Make sure you got all your talent on there. Match them up right in the proper fights that's going to shine and show their talents, and then you build. And listen, if that don't work, you didn't have a chance anyways. Like, that's just what you got to do, man. You don't got a ton to fucking work with. But if you play your cards right, there are fucking options out there, man. You can do some shit. You just got to fucking play your cards right, man. Rico Verhoeven was talking about potentially fighting Francis Ngannou in kickboxing or maybe doing MMA. you might have to do some shit like that. Is that going to be a big pay-per-view draw? No, but it's better than Francis fighting some fucking dude we've never heard of. If you get the right people who know how to tell a story, you can at the very least be like, okay, listen, we know you guys have never heard of Rico Verhoeven. Let us show you a highlight reel of who this is and why this is an extremely dangerous fight for fucking Francis to take in MMA, where this guy can knee and punch and kick, and he's one of the absolute best in the world at that. Like, you can do a lot with that. Or again, throw the bank and get Deontay Wilder. We all know who that guy is. Everybody in boxing will watch. Even if we know it's going to be a travesty, it's a train wreck. And then once the eyeballs are there, they all have to watch them bullshit fights to get to the big travesty that is fucking Deontay Wilder and Francis Ngannou. If you play your cards right, those shows, and again, one thing you got to hand the UFC and even Scott Coker, any of the, it's chess, not checkers. You line these fights up, and if you do that, you go out and sign somebody else, and you put that cat in the co-main, so you can start sort of building these fights. You know what I mean? Like, you go out and find a fucking Kimbo Slice or a Big Country, whoever is out there. Again, I don't know, got all the names here, but there's always guys floating around, especially if you're willing to poach from like kickboxing or whatever the fuck.
Anywhere.
Like, yeah, Gordon Ryan. Like, bro, what do we got to give you to take an MMA fight? Like, again,
I'll pass on the drug test. That's what you need to fucking give him. Yeah. No, here's the thing. Okay, on top of fights themselves aside, fucking Rick says Arman is out because he was doing weird exercise social media videos and needing a drama.
Yeah.
And then he says, "I'm gonna catch your shit. Hey, I'm short hair, boy. Come get me." Anyway, but yeah, no. The other thing too, on top of that, they need to do, it's you got to do everything, and this is gonna sound harsh. Replace everything in production, because god awful fucking production in PFL. The pacing, there's not much we could do about that because depending on the broadcast deals they got, fair enough. But replace the entire commentary team, all of them, every fucking one. Sean O'Connell, no offense, I love Sean O'Connell, but no. Okay, Randy Couture, gone. Dan Hardy, I'm sorry, I love Dan Hardy, gone. Right? Give me Mike Goldberg and give me a couple guys that just got out of the UFC that are decently spoken, and put them on the broadcast.
Can you believe we live in a world? And again, to your point, I like Randy Couture. I think he knows a lot about the sport. He's well spoken. But can you believe we live in a world where Jimmy Smith is not fucking commentating on MMA and Randy Couture is? I mean, I'm sure Jimmy would probably, again, you might have to give him a little bread, but like, bruh, he was good at this. Yeah, he kind of looks like Joe Rogan physically. Like, who gives a fuck? Hey. He's good. He's good in the same way that Joe Rogan was. He's trained. He's good on the mic. He's like, Jimmy Smith killed shit, man. Even at the UFC, he was there for a hot second. And the way I understand, like, they basically said, like, bro, you're a beast, but we just want ex-fighters. Like, we literally want to give them an opportunity. Like the guys that were loyal to us, we want to have jobs that we could, sort of on some mob family shit. We want this one to go in home like we owe. Right. But it's like, nobody said Jimmy Smith wasn't good at his fucking job. Like, you fucking idiots got this guy, signed him immediately. Like, when Bellator was shit with fucking Bjorn Rebney or whatever the fuck, Jimmy Smith was holding it down and killing it. And he's so good at this. What the fuck?
Honestly, I call Mike Goldberg. I call Jimmy Smith, right? Mike's going to be my color guy, right? Mike's going to be my John Anik. Jimmy Smith's going to be my Joe Rogan. Because what does Rogan do? Rogan doesn't comment. He doesn't steer the ship. Mike would do that.
Yeah.
Right. John Anik steers the ship. Right. And then get me an ex-UFC fighter, not a PFL fighter, not a fucking boxer, not Clarissa Shields, not goddamn, not even Greg Jackson or anyone like that. Give me a former UFC fighter that's very well spoken, clear with it. Throw Chael in there for a couple of minutes if you want, but not even him. Okay. Give me someone that can add that.
Even potentially Dan Hardy there. But with
Would be
Jimmy
great.
Smith and with with a couple cats who can do this, Mike
Yeah.
Goldberg and Jimmy Smith, where they do's this shit. And then all right, yeah, Dan Hardy, a little fire, yeah, cool. He can pull up the caboose with these two fucking guys.
Stop the bullshit fucking interviews during the ceremonial weigh-ins. There's no reason the ceremonial weigh-in should take 30 fucking minutes. It should be 10 minutes, motherfuckers. Okay? So fake scales, face off. Oh, let's pretend to be fucking mad at each other. Great. Get the fuck off my stage. Not fighter comes in. Let's talk to this fighter. Hey, asswipe, no one fucking knows. How you doing? What do you think about this fucking fight? What are you gonna do? My name's what's your name again? That kind of bullshit. Like, stop the fucking horse crap. This is not rocket science. It's not hard. All right. I'm not saying do everything UFC does, but the formula works. The formula fucking works, Donnie. God damn.
But kind of. Yeah, you don't want to completely do everything they do, but like somewhat, yes.
Somewhat.
Like obviously what they do is very, again, you've got so many examples of different MMA organizations that have came and went over the years. Yeah. How fucking hard would it be if you've got billions of dollars at your disposal to hire a couple smart dicks to go through like Pride, for instance? Okay, there was a few things that was horrible about Pride, like I don't know, having the fucking Yakuza run it, but so it would be quite simple to sort of be like, okay, Pride was also very successful. Why was it successful? Why did it get ruined? Okay, on the Strike Force. Strike Force eventually got bought out by the UFC. They weren't that successful, but they were so successful that the UFC decided to buy them out. You can look at those old Strike Force tapes. What worked? What didn't? What gained them the popularity? How hard would it be to just do all that and then go, okay, let's come up with the second best MMA company in the world? And then listen, man, once you're there and you got a vice grip on number two, then we can discuss maybe trying to overthrow the king. Coming out right now and be like, UFC, we're coming for you. You just make yourself look like a dick. You just make yourself like prove you guys can even belong. Prove you can even be worthy of the UFC wanting to buy you. And then we can start sort of like y'all ain't even talking about nothing right now. Y'all ain't got nothing big. Y'all ain't got nothing lined up. You guys got fuck all. When Strikeforce was doing his thing, man, Scott Coker had a tournament. He was pulling cats from Asia. He had up-and-comers like Daniel Cormier and Luke Rockhold. He had a lock into a solid-ass gym. Like, you got to do a whole bunch of different fucking shit, man. And you guys are, and again, to be fair, they've got a couple pieces. They've got Jake Paul and the rights to his first MMA fight. That's a big deal. Like it or love it, that's going to bring in some eyeballs, but you got to play that fucking event right.
100%. No, I think first thing you need to do if you're PFL, the heads of PFL, is get yourself someone that can promote. Okay, on the fighter side, that's it. On the fight side, get someone who can promote, knows what the fuck they're doing. Scott Coker type, whatever you want to do.
For real.
On the production side,
a guy who likes the fucking sport, man, who gets it and understands this stuff.
On the production side, I don't know, find one of the assistants for the UFC that's been in there for a long time and see what they do production wise and mix it in with yours. Okay, and I just thought of the name that I would want. I want Mike Goldberg. I want Jimmy Smith. I want Demetrius Johnson on the fucking call.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watch any of his Twitch stuff. DJ is goddamn entertaining.
Yep.
Call him, and he's a big name. And not just UFC, but also one champion. He's a big fucking name. Get him in there, and I guarantee you the broadcast fucking improves. So a lot of things again, and just wrap this up, and you want the last word, let's go for it. But do the little things right, and then go after the big things, right? But it's a process. And hopefully you got enough money to make it happen.
Right. So listen, we'll wrap it up. We're damn near done. We're running out of time. But I forget what's it called. So we've got another fight league that's coming out. It's called like the World Fight League or some shit.
It's a global fight league, GFL.
Global Fight League, the GFL. In a nutshell, if anybody watching this doesn't know yet, it's essentially going to be like a team-based MMA league. If you've been around, if you're old school enough, think the IFL with different sort of vibes and rules a little bit, but essentially in that kind of ballpark. And they're calling cards. Is there any way we can pull up the names that they have? Can we look? Is there a list of the names? So here we go. I mean, listen, look, here we go.
Alan, what the fuck?
First things first. We have Alan Belcher, which I will, as my daddy used to say, suck your dick at Third and Main if he ain't on every fucking
He's on
steroid
everything.
on fucking planet Earth. We've got Andre Arlovsky, Fabricio Verdum, Frank
Fucking
Mir,
Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy, JDS. I mean, listen, hold on. I'm not bullshitting. Andre is at least in his 40s. Fabricio's in his 40s. Frank's in his 40s. You got probably almost 200 years of heavyweight fighters there. So, okay, here we go. But to be fair, all names we do know and recognize.
Philippe Lynn, Stuart Austin, Tanner Bozer. Jesus, Tanner.
There you go.
Look,
There you go.
So, and this is just heavyweights, by the way.
And these are all heavyweights, exactly. Okay.
Women.
Okay.
Oh, this is rougher. Julia Budd's on. Evelyn Martins is on here.
Oh Lord! I mean,
I'm surprised. What's it called? The Happy Warrior, whatever. What's her name? Is it on here?
Oh yeah. Roxanne Manafari.
Roxanne. Bianca Daimoni. I'm just trying to find someone that's like. Patty Kansas, I guess people will know.
Yeah, this was sort of a little.
Oh my God, Tanya Evans, you're still fighting?
Oh Holy Lord, shit. Yeah, that looks about right for the people that they're signing. But this is
Paige Van Zandt, Christ. Meow Dean. Okay. This is
insanity.
All right, B. Nguyen, I'll give her that. I give him that. She's underrated as fuck. I'll give her that.
Yeah, for sure.
Hannah Gold. Okay. I'm just trying to see who else they got because this is interesting. Now I had not looked at the roster itself, and I know we're looking at the females right now.
Yeah, that's
atomweights.
Yeah, so I mean that's
okay. So the whole idea is this: these aren't fighters that are like they have contracts to fight. Okay, they basically are signed to be drafted. So the draft happens, I think, next week or the week after. Like they have a draft, right?
And they all end up on a team.
Yeah, they all got teams. I off the top of my head, I can't remember who's who, but I know New York. New York is coached by Ray Longo. No manager yet. They have a manager. No manager yet, but Chris Weidman just retired this morning at on the UFC weighing show. I guarantee he's a fucking manager. Kane is the manager for the Dubai team for some reason, and Mendez, Javier Mendez, the AKA head coach, is the coach for that team.
Oh so, my God!
I think Vanderlei's got a team. There's a bunch of shit. The whole thing just seems like they put it together in a video game. Let's see if this fucking works. Okay, it doesn't. I don't know. Look, and you watch Luke Thomas way more than I do. I try to catch a show, but it always fucking pops up when I'm doing something and I forget to watch it. Yeah. I know he said this is not going to work. Did you catch that show? And did you remember why?
Well, I mean, I watched a little bit of it. I can't recall exactly why he said that it's not going to work, but I think it's quite obvious. I think obviously they are probably vastly overpaying for these people's names, and what you're going to get is a relatively low level of MMA at this point out of these characters. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to look at names like Vanderlei Silva or Luke Rockhold or all these guys who had really, really good careers in the UFC more than 5 fucking years ago. Some of them fucking 10 years ago or more when they were elite level fighters. I just feel like you're going to end up with a lot of low level MMA for a ton of money. And how is that going to make sense? And the idea that because they're on teams, we've seen this before. MMA is sort of like the guys you train with and stuff. But when you go out and compete, it's like fucking golf, bro. You think, you know what golf needs? You know what the PGA needs? Teams.
Oh yeah.
Teams. We need fucking Tiger Woods and John Daly on Team Houston. Are you guys out of your fucking minds? That's the last thing on earth. Certain sports are just individual sports, man. It's same thing with boxing. Would you want to see fucking Gervonta and fucking Ryan Garcia on a team against Loma? Like, what are we doing here, man? This isn't professional wrestling. In theory, it sounds kind of cool if you're a couple 12-year-olds getting stoned in your room, but like, this isn't going to fucking Renan Barao, whatever the fuck his name is. I mean, I ain't seen him in a month of Sundays. Does he?
Yeah,
what does he look like at this point?
Because USADA showed up and he's like, oh shit. So that's what happened.
I mean, they've got so
They do
many
Thompson Almeida.
fighters signed. I mean, just what an incredible waste of money this is going to be.
So Mike says Luke Rocco got smashed by welterweight Mike Perry. Luke is washed.
Yeah. All these guys are. Fucking Vanderlei Silva. I mean, listen, it's such a strange thing too because these are such iconic. It's like when Mike Tyson fought fucking Jake Paul.
Yeah.
It's real embarrassing to see an animal of a man like Mike Tyson get outboxed by Jake Paul, but like this is not the Matrix. It's not a simulation. Time waits for no man. And Father Time is unfucking defeated. Vanderlei Silva is 97 years old now. Like, I see his name, and to this day, I get it. I'm like, oh shit, Vanderlei. And listen, might I watch with fucking one eye? But like, am I hoping I see the axe murderer of old? Sure, aren't we all? Do I know in my heart of hearts it's going to be disgusting and one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life, and it's going to make me want to cry afterwards? Absolutely. And that's for sure what will happen. You will not get vintage Vanderlei. It's in fucking possible. He's an old man now. It's not going to, go watch Vanderlei highlights from Pride or even against Chuck Liddell in the UFC. That guy's gone. Fucking gone. Frank Mir. I love Frank Mir. Go watch a Frank Mir highlight from the UFC where he's fucking snapping Minotauro's arm or he's breaking Tim Sylvia's arm. That fucking guy's gone. That was 12, 15 fucking years ago. These aren't guys that are slightly past their prime. These are fucking spoiled milk containers at this point. I mean, these guys are old as dirt. I mean, we love these guys. These are some of our heroes, but they are well past their fucking prime.
Like, this is my point, my side on this thing. It's you hope it works. You hope that, I mean, as wild as this is, you hope it works. It's really hard to see it working. Obviously, my curiosity always goes to the funding. Like, who's funding? How you guys paying for all this? How you paying all these fighters? What kind of money do you think you're going to make out of this? And is it going to be enough to be sustainable? Because anyone can start a fight promotion. Dana always says, hey, go ahead, start your fight promotion. I don't mind competition, bring it on. Because he knows. It took the UFC so long to be profitable. It took them years to be profitable. And you're going to come in with this, paying the kind of money they're saying you're going to pay out? Come on.
I wish I had like a little AI software thing. I wonder what the fucking average age of this organization is. Like, if you took up the age of all the fighters and just add them, it's got to be in the 40s.
I turn 39 next month, and I guarantee you I'm one of the younger people on the roster.
It has to be. I mean, Vanderlei has got to be in his mid to late 40s. Junior Dawson, like all these guys are in their 40s, yeah. Every single guy on the fucking roster.
I'm surprised they don't have Tito and fucking Chuck Liddell in here.
Literally, what the fuck? Like, who's where? Paul Harris? Like, all these guys are there. Frank Mir. They're like, none of these guys are even in their 30s. Let them over.
Okay, and this is not, folks. This is not us shitting on them, right? Because we think we're just doing it. This is just we see what's happening here. We've seen this game before.
Yeah,
bring out old names, especially the guys that you had no business fighting. Fucking Golden Boy had one MMA event. It was a disaster in so many different ways. They never did it again. Fucking Real Fight Inc. or whatever Nate's calling his promotion hasn't even gotten an event off. They had war when Nick Diaz had his fucking promotion. One event, never heard from him again. You know what I mean? This shit is hard to do. And if you're going to come out on this global, literally global, and this global plan that you have, right? You better have the money to back it up. You really better have it.
Listen, Randy Couture's record, I don't know exactly what it was, but it was like, fucking 16-8 or something. Randy Couture lost a lot of fights, is my point, right? But
11 fights.
There you go. How many did he win?
19.
So, right. 19-11 is his career. Now, on one hand, that sounds like a journeyman at best. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? But he's one of the absolute goats of MMA. First round Hall of Famer. If he's not in there, it's just because him and Dana got a pickle. But like, he should be. He's one of our greats. A lot of that is predicated on the fact that he was able to perform at a very high level while he was older. Like most of the prestige that he holds as a fighter is not because he was very good. He wasn't particularly great at nothing. It was just that he was old when he did it. And that means a lot. I say all that to say, once you get in your 40s, we all expect you to fight like shit. Nobody thinks you're going to be a good fighter. And then when you do, we make you a legend because of it. Like Randy Couture, it's like, yeah, listen, this fucking guy at 43 won a belt. He like won a belt, a real one. Like it's like we all fucking respect the shit out of that because once you get older, bro, you just don't. This is a young man's sport. When all these guys built the name that made them fucking Junior Dos Santos and Frank Mir and all that, they were in their fucking 20s or 30s. They did not make those names of being these fierce animals in their 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody does. Like, it's just, you got a bunch of guys in their 40s. Quite frankly, they're going to probably make themselves look like dicks at this point, if we're being fucking honest.
Well, yeah, look, man. Best of luck, GFL. We hope it works out. I mean, look, man. Look, obviously the ceiling is UFC, and the basement is probably PFL. So, if you're somewhere in the middle, you're probably doing okay. But anyway, anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
Nope, that's it. I think that was a good roundup. And I mean, listen, fights are tomorrow. Let's see how all the shit plays out. We need to try to do this a little more often. Maybe we can start doing a Friday night thing.
Yeah, maybe we start doing Friday nights. Actually works
late night Friday.
It works way easier than the Wednesdays.
Same.
So real quick, just go down again. UFC 311 tomorrow night from the Intuit Dome, Inglewood, California. Next week, not even next week, February 1st. We got a week off, I think. Adesanya against Imabov in Riyadh. Duplessis Strickland 2 in Australia on February 8th. February 15th, a rare baller-ass Apex card, honestly. Kennedy Rodriguez is going to be great. So Cejudo Song in Seattle, February 22nd, and then Roy Bal versus Manel Kape, March 1st, UFC Apex. So plenty of action coming up. Obviously, those Apex cards, you can count on one individual matchup being like good. Or right. like a matchup you want to watch using the main event. That Cannonier Rodriguez card is actually pretty good all around. So yeah. Anyway, all right, folks. Yeah, we're gonna try. Maybe we should just do this Friday nights. We'll talk.
I was gonna say like late night Friday. This works for me.
Late Friday night's a lot better. Especially for a show called Keyboard Warriors, where we say wild shit sometimes. So, all right, boys and girls, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Gabriel Gonzalez in Inglewood for Cageside Press all week long, including tomorrow night, obviously. And then Fight Companion tomorrow, myself, maybe Brett Cagle, depends who hops on here. And we'll have all your post-fight stuff Saturday night and Sunday early morning. Plenty of content coming from Cageside Press. All right. Appreciate the hell out of you guys. Shout out to everyone tuned in. Santiago, Mike, Rick Allen, you crazy fuck. Juan Pai, everyone tunes in. We love the fuck out of you guys. Make sure you subscribe, like, follow us on everything at Cageside Press on everything. And then tell your friends about us. And then come back next Friday night, hopefully, and talk some shit with us. All right. So for myself, Mr. Red Kirby, Cageside Press, Jay Anderson, the Dylan, the Rush, Napoleon, all these other guys, everyone on the team, we love the fuck out of you guys. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Good night, and good night, Wilshire.